It's Randy. So in today's video, I just want to talk about working out with an autoimmune disease, and in particular, working out with rheumatoid arthritis. So as I mentioned in my first video, I grew up very athletic and I played a various amounts of sports, so I just wanted to dive a little bit more into that. In total, I've played soccer, I did gymnastics, I played basketball, and I did track and field. My parents were always putting me into different sports so that I would stay busy, because getting up and going to school and just coming home wasn't enough for me because my personality was just always on the move and I was always on the go and I always wanted to have my hands on something. Soccer was the first sport I played, but I didn't exactly take it seriously. I know my parents always joke around because my dad used to bribe me and would tell me that if I would score a goal, then he would give me $5. So that was really the only motivation I had to play soccer, so eventually I stopped playing it. Gymnastics was the first sport that I actually took seriously. I did mention that during my gymnastics career was when I started to notice my early RA symptoms, but we hadn't had a diagnosis yet. At the end of my gymnastics career, I experienced 2 injuries, and during those injuries, the doctors were telling me that it was taking me a long time to heal, but at the time, we had no idea that it was my RA. So ultimately, I ended up walking away from the sport of gymnastics. But I still wanted to be very active, and I liked the idea of playing a team sport and being with team members and actually growing a bond with every single person that was on the team. So I took up basketball and track. Basketball just went as basketball went. I just played in high school. And during basketball season was actually during the time that I actually found my diagnosis. Track, I kind of just did track because people always said that I was fast. And I started to actually do field events because field events kind of reminded me of gymnastics, and I just loved the opportunity to compete and actually just specialize into one actual event, which my event was triple jump, and that's like the term hop, skip, and a jump. You can also just search it up if you have no idea what triple jump is, because I honestly had no idea until one of my coaches showed me exactly what triple jump was. So as I started to go on, I started to realize that, hey, maybe I can actually triple jump in college. So I started to take it more seriously, started putting in more hours actually at the track, just so that I could take my career farther than just high school. Thankfully, I was able to take my triple jump career into college. Unfortunately, I competed only 2 meets, and after the second meet, we were just out at practice and I was doing a drill, and I just landed wrong. And it kind of tweaked my ankle, but nothing that I thought was actually serious. I continued to practice for a little while, but my ankle was just bothering me. So my coach decided to have me go visit the trainers and see if we could find out what was actually wrong with my ankle. The trainers put me into a walking boot, and I was in the boot for the rest of actually that spring semester because my ankle was just not improving. My coach decided to stop having me practice, and he just told me that I could come back stronger next year and just focus on getting my ankle healed. I then went home the end of May and for the entire summer, and I visited my sports medicine doctor that works closely with my rheumatologist, and he actually said that I had a high ankle sprain. So he put me into an ankle brace, and I started doing physical therapy for the rest of the summer, and he made sure that I wasn't running or jumping just to allow my ankle to heal, because he knows that since I have RA, it takes longer for my joints to actually recover since I'm on immunosuppressant medicines. My ankle was feeling great by the end of the summer, so I went back to school, and once our fall training started to roll around, I was cleared, I was able to work out, so I started training with the team. But unfortunately, around October, my ankle was really bothering me, and I had noticed that I was feeling the same pain that I felt before I started rehab. So I flew back home and I had an MRI and I visited my sports medicine doctor, and he had determined that I actually needed surgery because since we treated my high ankle sprain so late in the game, my ligament became permanently inflamed. I was then referred to an orthopedic surgeon, and the surgeon went in and took away the inflamed tissue that was in my ankle. And by the way, this was my right ankle, and in triple jump I would go right, left. So my right leg would take most of the pounding, and therefore there was a lot of stress that was put on that ankle. And after the surgery and after the rehab, my ankle was not as strong as it was before I'd injured it, so I ended up walking away from the sport of track and field simply because my triple jump wasn't at the level that it used to be at. Walking away from a sport that I had trained so hard for was not fun at all. I was very upset because I'd given my all into the sport of track and field, and I just didn't understand why I had to walk away from something that I loved so much. Thankfully, I did have people that were supporting me and telling me that everything was going to be okay and it was for a bigger plan. It was just at the time I didn't know what to do because I'd found myself in competing, and I genuinely enjoyed working out and competing and the whole aspect of being an athlete. After I finished rehab, which took about 6 months, I honestly did not work out for about a year. I was just so upset that I was no longer an athlete, so I just didn't understand what was the point of working out if I'm never going to compete again. During that year, my RA also started to become unmanageable. It became to a point where I was always in pain. My back was hurting, my knees were hurting, my hands were hurting, my feet were hurting. And so it just became to a point of I can't even work out now at this point, even if I wanted to, because I'm in so much pain. So many people were also making comments that I'd gotten so skinny and I was looking different and I didn't have the same energy that I used to have and I should be working out. But those people that were saying those comments didn't ask me how I was feeling. They didn't ask me if my RA was okay. They didn't ask me how I was handling no longer being an athlete. They just had things that they wanted to say based off of what I looked like on the outside, because I know that RA isn't normally like a visible illness, but there's a lot that goes on that people that don't have RA don't see. And I think that's what a lot of people with RA struggle with, because people just chalk it up that people with RA are okay, there's nothing wrong with them, they look fine. But just because someone looks fine doesn't mean that they are fine. I went through a series of changing medicines and doing a bunch of blood work and talking with my rheumatologist until finally I was put on a new medicine that actually started to work, since my old medicine had stopped working and had stopped being effective. Now that my RA was under control, it was still in the back of my head that I know I'm not a competitive athlete, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't be an athlete. I am a kinesiology major, so I know the benefits of working out and I know how important it is for the body. So I decided to write my own workout plan, because maybe since I do have rheumatoid arthritis, I shouldn't be doing the same workouts that a D1 athlete would be doing, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be working out at all. Because I know that working out has both physical and mental benefits for people that have rheumatoid arthritis. Physically, it can increase our muscular strength, which is very important because stronger muscles takes less pressure off our joints, which lowers the risks and severity of a flare. It can also increase our joint flexibility, which improves our joint range of motion and ultimately reduces joint pain. Exercising also boosts immune system function, which is very important because many individuals with rheumatoid arthritis are on immunosuppressant drugs. Therefore, if we exercise and boost our immune system, then that will help us fight against fatigue, which will help regulate our sleeping patterns and also improving our energy levels. And mentally, exercising improves emotional and mental well-being, which is very important because many individuals that have an autoimmune disease get down on themselves and it's easy just to feel like you're all alone. But if you're exercising, your body releases a ton of neurotransmitters that have a positive effect on the brain. Now, any type of exercise program that you decide to do is completely up to you, but you want to make sure that you're incorporating aerobic, strength building, and flexibility, because all three of those are very, very, very important. And I know that working out is a process and starting to work out is also a process, but it's always important just to start. If today is the day that you want to start, then go out and start today. Whether it's just a simple walk or a simple jog, just do something, stay active, and help benefit yourself physically and mentally. On my Instagram, I post workout videos and just videos of me working out. And also, if you have any other questions about working out, different benefits, different exercises that I do, then you can email me at rawarriorrandi@gmail.com, or you can simply comment below in the video or message me directly on Instagram. Make sure to stay tuned and subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting more videos as topics pop up into my head. I hope that I can continue to be a help. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out because I would love to help every single one of you. Alright, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day.